Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on My Afghanistan Story. So I'm creating this series of videos because of these events that we have experienced in the United States. Well, they didn't occur in the United States, but it's affecting people deeply in the United States about the recent events in Afghanistan as of August of 2021. And over the years, I've had opportunities to do something like this and to speak publicly. In the last 11 years, I've been virtually silent about the issues that I'm going to talk to you about and present to you in a series of videos. And the reason I'm making this video and this series of videos is because of the extensive experience and knowledge that I have interacting with the people from Afghanistan and with Islamic cultures. And as we get started for this intro video, I want to mention that this is my personal story. I am not speaking for any organization. In the past, I've worked for nonprofits, charities, NGOs, different groups, and been associated with many different people from around the world that have worked in Afghanistan. But for this video series, I am speaking for myself. I don't speak for any particular organization. And if you know me from my time in Afghanistan and we had encounters, you may remember me as a person who was associated with this group or that group or another group or a particular people. But none of that is true today. So any associations that you think that I have with other organizations have been totally discontinued for at least 11 years for those that I most recently worked with. And I'm talking about private organizations. So this is my personal story, and my personal story, my journey to Afghanistan and my experiences with the Afghan people is a journey through Islam. And so many years ago, I took up a study of Islam, which led me to have many encounters with Muslim people and to interact with them in a very popular level, speaking as just, average people, meeting each other and talking about religion and culture and life experiences. But I also had extensive experience in meeting up with highly educated, trained clerics at mosques in several locations around the world, and sat with these Islamic clerics and learned from them firsthand what they taught about Islam. And they also gave me books and were able to find resources for me in English in my early years to really absorb and take in the content of what is Islam, what is the religion of Islam about, and what are the major tenets of Islam. And so I went very deep into connecting within the Islamic world. And that eventually led to me moving with my family into the country of Afghanistan. And so my first visit to Afghanistan was in 1992, after the fall of the communist government, after many years of the Mujahideen fighting the communist government. And then in 1992, they finally took the city of Kabul. And that was the time that I first went to Afghanistan and began a period of time over the next let's say 15 years, where I had chances to travel in Afghanistan, to live in Afghanistan, and have many experiences with the Afghan people. So as of the time that I stopped being full-time working in the nonprofit world among the people of Afghanistan, I had 27 years of continuous experience in the Islamic world and interacting with Muslims from many different nations, and particularly the nation of Afghanistan. And the last 11 years, I virtually have not done anything like that. And so, all right, got a call. And so for the last 11 years, I have been virtually silent about my experiences. And I've never publicly spoken about some of the things that I'll be mentioning in this series of videos. But I've had 11 years to think about my previous 27 years of experience. So for the last 38 years, my mind has been had thought a lot about Islam, and with particular connection with the country of Afghanistan. And I think now is the time is right for me to begin sharing my story. Over the past 11 years, I thought about, okay, now I should start sharing it, now I should start sharing it. But I always set it aside for one reason or another. And I'm in the business world, and this is what I do full time, and I'm going to continue to be in the business world. But I do want to make these videos because I am getting inundated with questions and comments and incoming messages from people who know my background, asking me for my opinion of what's going on in Afghanistan. And they have questions, there's fears, there's all kinds of concerns that people have. Some people, anyway, the series of videos is going to answer some of these concerns that people have who had contacted me. And so the time is right to do that. And as I mentioned, I want to say this very clearly, that there's a lot of content I'm going to share that I've never shared publicly before. I've had opportunity to share some of this information privately in private groups, in small groups, in classes and seminars within nonprofit organizations in a very private setting. And now really I'm absolutely doing this publicly online. And parts of my story you will see was very public, but a lot of my teaching and training has been very private over the years. And so my plan right now is to make as many videos as quickly as possible to deliver the content that I think is important for you to hear from somebody with my experience. I think it will help give context. I think the world and our country, the United States, is starving for information that I have about Afghanistan and my experiences with the Taliban and the different ethnic groups in Afghanistan. So I'll be sharing that. I'm going to follow up very quickly with 2 more videos that are also introduction videos to this series. It's important that I communicate a few more pieces of information, but I didn't want to make this video too long. I wanted this video to be a very brief introduction to my background and what I've done and why I'm able to deliver the content that I will be delivering. So look for the next video. It is an intro, part 2 of the intro. Take a look.